Good evening. Welcome to Spiritual But Not Religious. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. By the way, Spiritual But Not Religious is brought to you by the Spiritual Broadcasting Network. It's a brand new broadcasting network. We're going to be bringing other shows to you other than Spiritual But Not Religious. As a matter of fact, if you're out there and you got somebody you think might make a good show, send them our way. We want to try and get that voice of the spiritual but not religious community out there. Right now, we have no voice. We have no central kind of a place because of who we are. People who call themselves spiritual but not religious don't, we don't go to church, so we don't have that community, and we have no real way of knowing each other or having any voice at all. So we'll be working at that. Before I get started here, I want to talk to you a little bit about me and about what's going on for me. I am at this point in my life sitting here talking to you tonight. I am sitting in the middle of my dream. I am on purpose. My life purpose is directly what I'm doing today. It's taken me quite a while to get there, and I've written a book. The book is called Mastering the Light, and it's a modern miracle for difficult times. Everything that's in that book comes out of my experience. There's no opinion in there, and what I've done to get here, to find what my purpose in life was, to be living my dream, I lay out in this book in some pretty easy directions to follow so that you can get on purpose in your life, so you can find out what your life purpose is all about. Tonight's guest is Kat Forsley. If you're not familiar with Kat, she's a dynamite, very attractive lady who has overcome some huge obstacles in her life to be a singer, a musician, a songwriter, a poet, a love activist. She's just a grand lady and lots of fun. We'll have a good time with her tonight. I'm going to bring Kat on right now. We got Kat here, Tom?
We do have Kat. Kat, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, Kat, I'm going to bring you on to the screen here now, and we'll, of course, getting up here, I'll need my glasses for that. What do you think about that?
Well, I need more than glasses.
You need more?
I need maybe a retina transplant.
Well, you know what, Kat, we got a couple of things that are in common. One, I've lost my sight in my left eye many years ago, so... Matter of fact, I had a friend who, I'm blind in my left eye. He was blind in his right eye, and we figured that we were able to see eye to eye, which was kind of a neat thing. So, there's always a good positive, and I don't need to tell you about that. There we got Kat.
I totally agree.
We got Kat up on screen.
I plan to do a lot of good stuff for albinism on the whole. I mean, I have ocular albinism, which there's a few different kinds, and mine just hit my retina, and so I'm legally blind. Legally blind is 2200. I have 2400. So, and my vision is waning every day. But then there's albinism, which hits all of the pigment. For example, my sweetest friend Becky Clark, she has. And she breaks my heart.
Pretty young lady, I think. I was over.
Yeah, you've met her. She's
right.
She's brought my cause back to. She's 17, and I have a really important dream. And what I really want to do is, there's huge mass killings in Tanzania, and right now, and in so many other countries, and. As my compassion increases, as my heart expands, I want to do so much. And in meeting Becky and talking with her, and her being 17, and I'm way older than 17, so I have a dream of going there and doing a documentary and really, disturbing the peace in a good way, because this is not fair. I mean, there's so many causes I could support, and I do support everything, but Becky, being me, really, as a teenager,
right,
where I'm her cause. she's my cause. And over the past, I guess, 2-3 months that I've known her, become very close to her. And,
Well, she couldn't ask for anybody better in her corner. I know that for sure.
Wow.
Before we get rolling here too much, Kat, I want to find out a little bit about what makes you Kat. What makes you the compassionate woman, the love activist that you've become. And tell us a little bit about your childhood. I understand you traveled quite a bit as a child.
You want to know my life story?
Well,
Is that what you want to know?
I'm not sure we want to go quite that long. Give us a little.
I'm not that old.
How did you happen to be? Well, yeah, but we've lived a lot in the years that we are around, for sure.
Yeah.
How long? You traveled in Asia quite a bit as a child. Was your father in the military? Or?
I was born in Ottawa, and at age 6, my family, we moved to Hong Kong, and we lived there for 3 years. So, and those are some of the most vivid memories that I have.
Did you have the ocular albinism at that point?
Oh, I was born with it.
I got you. Okay.
I was born with it. It's a genetic condition. Nothing can fix it. The only thing that I've had to ameliorate I guess that's the word, the situation is that I had a surgery in 2000, a strabismus surgery, which they went in and they aligned my eyes so that I don't have lazy eye all the time. Now, that wasn't laser, that was a manual surgery. And there was an 80% chance of, I think it was 80%, I had got a great specialist in Toronto, 80% chance of going blinder than blind, meaning no vision. So,
Right.
I mean, I wanted to look normal. Unfortunately, for me, it's a hidden disability, and as the days progress, it is more and more obvious. I have a cane. I'm using it more and more, and I don't want to use it. I hate that thing.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, because I've lived my life running and wanting to be like a normal kid.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, it's pretty good that you're not, quote, normal, Kat. You've done an awful lot with your life.
I am abnormal.
So being abnormal is not a bad thing. It's just you're different, and that's pretty lovely, really.
Yeah.
So,
but when you're born so different, you just want to be the same, and then when you get older, you realize you should have just been who you are. You were born to be in the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it takes years for some of us to find that out. To figure out where we're at. A lot of that really comes from our parents.
True.
Really, it's like if they're telling you that you're good and you're worthwhile and all of those things, that's what you're going to carry forward with you. But if they're telling you anything that less than that, or you're hearing anything less than that, you're going to have a lot of work somewhere in the future in order to get that self-esteem that allows you to do the kind of things that I see you doing. How was your family? Were they pretty supportive?
My parents are both geniuses. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. They're both geniuses. They encouraged my mind. They encouraged my mind.
Right. It shows.
Incredibly so. My grandmother, who's passed away, and she was my spiritual, guiding. She had some native blood, and she had a big impact on my spirituality. She was more religious, but I took the spirituality from that.
Right, took what you could.
And in my book, there's my eulogy to her. I did that, and she's just beautiful. So, yeah, my parents are both geniuses. My mom, she's very musical. My dad's a writer and a businessman, and I have an excellent family.
What was your dad doing that had you in Hong Kong?
He's with the Canadian consulate.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
so he was a
there.
diplomat there, and
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I went to an international lycée, and French is my first language, and I was immersed in international, like so many different kinds of kids, so many, and it was that's my dog playing with his toy.
You're good.
Sorry about that.
No, that's the way. Listen, dogs are great.
Dogs are great.
Yeah, I got 3 of them, and they're wonderful.
They are. They're little angels.
And
mine is called Tofu, and he's a Chihuahua. He's 3.5 pounds. He's very cute.
Nobody's going to mind Tofu barking, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
where were we saying? Oh yeah, I was just immersed in this rich culture, and so I had to learn English in Hong Kong. I had to learn English. I learned some Chinese, and then at 9 years old, I moved to. My dad got another posting to Marblehead, Massachusetts, so very close to Boston, 20 minutes away from Salem, Massachusetts. So I was very into, at around, I guess, 10 or 11, I went to the Crystal Chamber, and then I started kind of understanding, a little bit more about spirituality, and at a young age.
For folks that don't know what the Crystal Chamber is, give them a brief.
Oh, the Crystal Chamber. Oh my gosh, it was. I just remembered the name a few days ago, but it was just a store, and I met with my first psychic, or my first, actually, he was a male witch, I guess a warlock or whatever.
A Wiccan?
I think he was Wiccan. His name was Sean. I mean, it was so long ago, I can hardly remember his face. I just remember him looking into my palms and saying, you're a powerhouse of energy, and don't worry about anybody messing with you. And at that young age, I had no idea what that meant. But the powerhouse of energy, I completely understand. So I don't know where my energy comes from. I really don't.
Early on, the real key is to figure out some way to be able to deal with that energy appropriately, isn't it? Because that kind of creative energy, that kind of creative force, that a lot of people go to drugs and alcohol to an extreme.
I drink a lot of caffeine.
Right.
That's unfortunately being struggling artist. My landlady, she's about to sell my place. So yeah, my nutrition is not good right now, but it will be. I know that all will be well. My heart's open to, moving somewhere else where I can't afford this place anymore. So
if you're like me, Kat, these dark times, they can seem like the worst thing that could possibly happen. But somewhere down the road, they almost always turn out to be, gee, that really worked out pretty good, and it pushed me into a place that I probably should have gone. I'm talking about a living space. I'm talking about a place where I reside inside of me, where I expand. I become more than I was before the difficulty.
Yes, and I'm detaching slowly from this place. I mean, I spent a very monastic summer here. I've taken the Bodhisattva vow. Do you know what that is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So this summer, it actually happened like this. I went to see my specialist, my eye doctor, and because I was starting to have blackouts and like pinhole vision, so like little black dots and little white dots, and again, all doctors say the same thing. He said, okay, well, your vision has, gotten worse, 30% in one eye. There's nothing we can do next. So you will probably go blind in the next year and a half. So, I mean, that was pretty shocking. I did my best with that, but I spent a very monastic summer at creating as much as I could. And in this last summer, I took the Bodhisattva vow.
Tell, for people who are listening or viewing who don't know what Bodhisattva, tell us a little brief idea what that is.
Well, it's to cherish every sentient being, and it's Buddhist. Even though I'm not Buddhist, I'm spiritual yet not religious. It's to cherish every sentient being, and it's compassion in action.
Right.
And when I meditate for the benefit of others. I don't meditate for myself, even though I know that there is no other. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
so,
but that service thing is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I meditate, lately I've been meditating on, for somebody, for example, my last meditation, which was about 20, 30 minutes ago.
How'd you do with that? You were pretty wired up earlier.
I was. I'm all wired up. I'm always wired. I'm always hyper.
Right.
Either I'm hyper or I'm sleeping. It's just like a puppy,
you're
that runs around and then they crash.
You're on or you're off, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I have an off switch. I don't know.
So your nightlife, your sleep life is pretty active too.
Yeah, I'm a good sleeper, but yeah, I'd rather be helping people in whatever way I can.
I
So, for
suspect.
example, sorry.
I suspect you're astral traveling while you're sleeping.
Oh yeah, the dreams are incredible.
I'll
My
bet they
dreams
are.
are really incredible.
So
So
just
real.
for a little bit more on the blindness, oftentimes, I think on a pretty regular basis, that some other aspect of us heightens. Our hearing gets better, or there was one fellow I saw. He was like 15 or 16. He's rollerblading all over, and his hearing was so heightened that he could just click it with his tongue, and the echoes would go out, and he would know where he was at and be able to move around. Have you noticed anything of that happening? That kind of thing happening for you?
Third eye.
Well,
Third eye is opened big time.
I bet.
On the spiritual in
Right.
in that domain, hearing has always been incredible.
Is that right?
Music wise, right? I mean, that's good genes. That's the good part of. But what has increased is my heart. And I may sound like a crazy chick, but I believe I see with my heart now. I don't even think about these. I think about this.
I think the kind of company that is here tonight, we're not going to think anything about you being a crazy chick. We all have our own, we're all here and trying to expand our consciousness so we can take in more of what's really going on.
Yeah. Well, the heart sees. It does.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all the same in the heart. We are all the same. And when we are vulnerable and open and willing to share what breaks our heart, we are all the same. Once we take down that armor and we see, and as my vision gets less, I gain insight. I gain compassion. I cry a lot because I see so much more pain in the world. That I was, funny enough, blind to before. So, yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange, and it goes on and more. It gets more intense every day.
I'll tell you what, Kat, I'm pretty convinced at this stage of my life that the real job, the real spiritual job that we must do is find our way to humility and compassion. And I don't think you can have one without the other. And it
No,
sounds to me
definitely
like
not.
like you're really right on with your purpose in life and where you're going. And
It hurts so much, though. That's the thing, and it's gotta hurt. You know what I mean? It's got you. If you're a compassionate person, you have to feel the pain of others. You have to. There is no other. Then you're really, really seeing humanity for what it is.
right.
So everything touches me now.
Of course, you have to protect your psyche in the middle of all that too, in order to be the value that you've become.
Yes, and this is what I have to admit, I have to work on balance and patience because I'm a person that wants to do things all the time. Like right now, I'd go and I'd say, okay, I want some funding to go to Tanzania with Becky Clark, and let's go make a documentary on albinism and the killings that are going on there. Or else I'd say, okay, I want a record deal now. Like I've been now all my life, but I'm slowly learning patience, slowly.
Well, there's a Tom. What was that way to raise money that I was talking with you about? There's a new thing where you can set up a little deal on the web, and people come in and they give $1, $2, $3, whatever, $5, $100 for your cause, and maybe we'll have to talk with you about that. And maybe we can get something like that set up for you and get you to Tanzania or wherever you're trying to get to.
Yeah, I would need to get an army of big, huge men though, because
I bet, huh?
I mean, I'm white as white, like,
right.
I sunscreen like crazy, and Becky is even whiter than I am, and more beautiful, and I would have to protect her with all my soul and everything, so we would need, 4 or 5 people with us, and a filmmaker, and, because people walk down the street with, people around them in Tanzania because they're frightened, and they're going to take pieces of their hair, to make magic potions, and
really,
it's just voodoo and witchcraft. It's crazy.
It's pretty dark, isn't it? Pretty dark.
It's very dark.
Very dark.
It's very dark.
Well, speaking of filmmakers, we had Jeff Brown on here a couple of weeks ago. I think you know Jeff. Jeff lives there in Toronto too. You're up there in the cold weather with Toronto.
subarctic. Yes.
You'll have to get something going with Jeff and maybe do another documentary.
Yeah. Well, he's a great guy. He sent me his book, and Soul Shaping is awesome.
It's a great
He sent
book.
me a beautiful message today saying, words of support, on how this interview should go and do this and do that, because he's been on your show. Yeah, he's a
Sure.
good guy. He's one of the good ones.
Well, it's pretty neat, the community that we find ourselves in, isn't it? It's like,
It's beautiful.
oh, it's wonderful.
Beautiful.
And what's amazing is, I hear, you'll read and people who aren't involved with with the internet as highly as you and I are. They say that it tends to, withdraw us from the community, and we lose our connection with people. But the truth is, it opens up so many connections with people that not only do we meet on the internet, but we end up meeting in the street or meeting in the coffee shop. It expands. It's expanded my world considerably.
Yeah, that's why I have to wear dark sunglasses in Toronto now all the time. I have to wear them anyways, but yeah, I'm pretty well known in Toronto.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, and people, I'm taking off my boots. I need to relax there.
Absolutely.
People are saying, "Are you that girl who?" Girl? No, I'm like woman. First of all, are you that girl that started Positive People? And I said yes. And they're kind of like in shock. And I say, why? It was just me. 2 years ago in October '07, I was sitting at my desk and thought, oh, I want to do something good. I know I can't go out there in the fields and, I don't know, become a soldier and, soldier SOUL and do like huge things, but maybe I can help one heart at a time. And that is what I think the key is to compassion and action is working with people one-on-one. And that's where my life coaching background is as well. So,
tell you what, Kat, we have someone in our chat room that wants to ask a question. What do we got there, Tom?
Who is it?
We've got someone named Warren Motter. And
hi, Warren.
And he is,
I know him.
Okay, all right. Well, he's on there, and he's wondering if you've mentioned how folks can purchase your book, which will bring into another subject.
We are going to get there, absolutely. So,
Yeah, we'll get there,
So
definitely.
why don't we? Thank you, Warren. That's a good segue for us. Why don't
Hi,
you
Warren.
tell
Thank
us?
you.
Show us your book, Kat.
Oh, I have it right here. How convenient.
Just by chance.
Just by chance. Ooh, am I close enough?
Well, that works fine. You bet.
Yeah.
And the name of it?
Is All Love And.
All Love And. So tell me what you meant by and.
And, well, you see the and?
Yes.
The and, it looks like a little handicapped man to me.
Okay.
And, yeah, and,
That's a clever title.
I've signed All Love for a bunch of years now, and it's just a book of, not just a book, it is a book of spiritual essays and poetry and, a little philosophy thrown in there. It's kind of like my little view on the world.
I was very much looking forward to getting a chance to read your book, but we had a few problems with getting that. Kat, you want to tell us a little bit about the availability of your book? Do we have any available at this point, or?
Right now, I've got about 7 on me, on my person. Unfortunately, my website was taken down, and just personal stuff, and it's been a rough week, bronchitis and everything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, the people that have read it, they love it. They want to give me reviews, but there's nowhere to put it.
How much is your book, Kat?
In U.S., it is. Oh my gosh, can I read this? It's $19.95.
Okay, so
$19.95.
So listen, folks, we got 7 books, and you can place orders for more books. But let's see if we can't get those 7 books sold for you tonight, Kat.
Oh no! I want to keep them. Well, I haven't. No,
okay.
I want to send you one tomorrow.
Okay.
I still
That'd be
have
great.
to send Andrew Harvey, my mentor,
Right.
one. And, this is my heart. This is my heart. So, this is my heart in a book, really. So, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but, it's beautiful. I'm very happy about it,
Well,
especially the essays.
I'm sure you are. You know, one of the things that so recommends you is that when you go online to your to your Facebook, you know what? We've lost. Have we lost the sound here?
Yeah, it looks like we've.
No,
lost
I'm
it.
right here.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So when we go online and we look at the people who are talking to you on Facebook, and if we go into positive people, what do we see? A lot of love, right, Tom?
A lot of love,
Just,
a lot,
just everybody
yes,
expressing their love for you. You know.
I know. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm sure that
Beautiful.
once you get that, you get that book out there and open to them, they're gonna want it because your heart's there, and it's your heart that's brought. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
it's your heart that's brought you to this show. That's for sure.
Oh, wow. Go
Tom,
go towards the one heart of humanity. That's what I say. It's you can quote me on that one. Yeah, Positive People is such a beautiful place, and each officer. I mean, it started with like 3-4 people, and then I started seeing it grow and grow and grow, and made such beautiful friends. And each officer and administrator is. I mean, should I name them?
sure.
Okay, well, we've got, first of all, Becky's a new officer.
Oh, that's
so
great.
I know, she's a new officer and administrator. I had to get a letter from her mom because she's a minor still, and I want to make sure that she's protected because it is it's 37,000 people plus, so I want to watch out for her being her big sister. We've got Agnes. We've got she's a fabulous officer. She's gung ho. She's a healer. We've got Tony Samuels, who's been there since the beginning. We've got Cosette Awad, who's been there since the beginning. Jerry Gamble. So many beautiful people, and also people from the Global We. There's Patty Hayes as well. Patty Hayes is a beautiful person, and I call her my pH balance because she's very spiritual, and she's very grounded. And yeah, I mean, I could go on all night. I feel like I'm at the Oscars or something. But the Global We is beautiful as well because they're sister groups now. At least in my heart, I see that.
George, can I ask a question? Hey, Kat.
And yes,
Kat, this is Tom. How are you?
good.
Hey, listen. When you started Positive People, back in 2007, I believe.
Yeah, October 2007.
What was your? I mean, what were you thinking? What was your vision? What did you?
Intention. It was just about making a positive intention, a positive impact on every heart that I could touch, and I wanted to touch every. Don't make me cry. I wanted
It's okay to cry.
I know. I've been doing so much crying lately. Everything moves me so much. I wanted to. I mean, my mom has a lot of psychiatric background, and so I grew up reading Freud and Carl Jung, before 10, I think. Yeah, before 10, I see them in my bookshelf now. So I've always been so interested in humanity and everything from music to, everything rocks me. So I just love making one-on-one connection with people, and even if it's not in the flesh, to me it's heart to heart. And I have some beautiful. I've helped a lot of people. I don't even like to say proud anymore, but I'm humbly proud that I've been able to help because I want to be of service. That's what I want to do.
Well, you know what? There's a couple of different kinds of proud. There's that negative pride, whether it's on a human level or on a spiritual level. Then there's that kind of pride that just goes with self-esteem because we've done something good. So
Yeah.
And I think you have a good right to have some pride, at least in what I see is going on. Let's talk a little bit about. I see your mentor, Andrew Harvey. He looks
I've
like.
never met him.
Uh-huh.
I've never met him. He has an institute of. He's a sacred activist, a mystic. He has a new book called The Hope.
Hope, yeah.
Do you want me to get it? I'll get it. Hold on a second.
And
Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Hold on.
Well, Andrew, I don't know what his.
I don't think he needs help selling his books, but And hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for inspiring me, Mr. Harvey. I don't call him Andrew. Hope.
Well,
It's
I watched
changed
a
my
little.
life.
I watched a little video over on his site, and
Yeah,
I'm
he's a
really
genius.
I'm really
He's a
impressed with him and what he's trying to do and what he's working at. It's pretty
Yeah,
powerful.
Institute of Sacred Activism, and he's taught me so much, and in a silent way. I mean, I've never talked to him in my life, and
So we're getting a
but
chance to
fact
see
is-
all of you tonight.
Sorry.
We get a chance to see all of you tonight, not just the headshot.
Yeah, exactly.
The hope.
But he believes in compassion and action, and believes in finding a cause that breaks your heart, and in that breaking of the heart comes beautiful things. So our hearts break every day for whatever reason, and it's just, if we're vulnerable and open enough to let that happen, because that is our nature. We all have the same heart.
But we want to hide that, We don't want to be vulnerable, unfortunately.
No. Vulnerable is okay.
Vulnerable is
As long as there's a spiritual boundary around that.
absolutely.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you become a love activist because of Andrew Harvey, or was that before, or how's that?
No, that was before. It's just that, I've read so much, and because, as a child I didn't climb trees or I didn't run around that much. I was in poetry mode, reading mode, and so he's the one that activates my heart the most. But love activist is kind of a term I just gave myself, and it's just a person that tries to activate each human heart one on one, and
I think it's a really wonderful term. We need
Yeah.
more love activists for sure.
yeah, I like it because I try my best. I'm one human being, and sometimes I feel like I'm Atlas. That I'm trying to hold.
Holding the world
and
up.
that's, yeah, I have a bit of a martyr complex, which I'm working through that right now. But I just, because I believe in all for one for all, and there's just
So-
love activist was just a term I made up. I think. I mean, I've never even Googled it to see what does it mean. So.
Well, it's the first time I had really run across it. I was impressed with it.
Hey, George, we've got someone on chat who's actually read her book.
Oh, great.
Who is it?
They've just got the heading "Rocks for Peace."
Is it Roxanne?
Is it Roxanne? I don't know. I'll see.
Roxanne.
Uh-huh.
Well, not too many people have gotten their hand on your book, so I'm going to guess that. But she says, yeah, it's beautiful. Everyone would benefit from reading it.
Oh,
And
thank you,
so yes,
Roxanne.
must be one of your friends there in Toronto, maybe.
Oh, she's not in Toronto.
No,
I believe she's in the States. I give her.
it's Wink. She said to tell you it's Wink.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say I call her Wink because she's got a cute smile, and I can't wink, but she does, and she, along with she's definitely an activist. I've been trying to help her. She's got some family. Her mom is ill. I've been trying to help as much as I can, and she helps me, and the symbiotic. It's beautiful.
Well, it seems somebody else has bought your book too. Sunshine. She says she bought your book too, and it's fabulous.
Oh,
Hi, Kat.
Dara. It's Dara. Oh, that's so sweet. Dara's in Toronto. Dara is a lovely, lovely woman. She's an activist in her own, very, very intense activist. And unless she wants to tell on the chat why she's an activist, I can't say to plead the fifth on that one. But she is a dynamic woman. So I'm glad she likes it.
So just based on what we're hearing, I think you're going to do really well with your book once you finally get it out there to the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, I've got lots of dreams, I still, I'm not
Well, Kat,
16.
one of the
Sorry.
things that so impresses me is that, yeah, you've got lots of dreams, but they aren't fantasies. The difference between a dream and a fantasy is action. And you put
That's right.
action behind your dreams, and you're actually doing the things that most people fantasize about. If you were to give a leg up or a bit of advice to anybody else out there that has a handicap, as to what they can do with their life and how they can open up and expand, what would that be? Do you know?
I'm going to use my favorite new expression is keep on trucking and do not give up. Just do not give up.
Keep
No
on trucking.
matter
Keep on trucking.
How hard? Keep on trucking.
You don't look
I
that.
don't know.
You don't look that old, Kat. That's a that term's been around for a lot of years. That's a '60s
I know, but
term.
I found
you know.
a Sesame Street link, you know?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Well-
I just like it. I just love that term. And I can't drive, obviously. You would not want to see me on the road. I've never learned to drive. But I like the fact that I just have to keep on going. I have to keep on going, you know? And it may not manifest itself today, tomorrow, and this is where the patience is very important for me. I was born an impatient girl,
Why is that hard to believe that you're impatient, huh?
why is that hard to
Yeah,
believe?
why is that hard to believe? You're,
I don't know. You make up your mind. I don't know.
You're pretty dynamic, and impatience often goes with being dynamic.
Aquarius as well. So
Are you also an Aquarian?
yeah, triple.
Triple
Sun,
Aquarius.
moon. Sun, moon, and Venus.
That's why we connect.
So-
That's why we connect so well. That just pretty well set my chart out there for sure. Hey, speaking
right.
of that, on the 26th, I've got Brian Hill coming in. He's a really, really good astrologer. We're going to be doing.
I saw your promo.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing mini readings. You'll have to throw us your info, and we'll have him do a mini reading on you.
Oh, I never tell anyone my actual age. A woman never does.
Well, you don't need to tell your age. He's not going to disclose anything that's going to make it tough for you.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, triple Aquarians. Galileo was born on my birthday. A long time ago. I just read that Galileo was blind or went blind, and I thought that was incredible.
What was your birth date? What is
February
your birthday?
15th,
You're
the
the
day after
15th.
Valentine's Day.
Very, very good.
And you know what else? You know what a lot of my friends call me is Cupid, because I'm really good at setting people up.
Are you?
Yeah, I can't do it for myself, but I can do it for other people. For example, in Positive People, there is a beautiful, beautiful couple, and Jerry Gamble and Chantal Bolduc, which is my maiden name. I'm divorced. And they've been together since Positive People. I don't know how it happened, but they're still together, and
But you played Cupid there. But you were playing Cupid there.
Yeah, and I kind of pull back the fuzzy arrow. You know, it's not sharp, it's fuzzy, and it's pink. And I throw it up and see where it goes, and for them it went beautifully.
And it worked.
Yeah. So and there's so many global we people that are they're just it's almost like they're dying to do something. And that's not the right word, but Gordon J. Miller, Kamud Singh, just Van Bro. I can't pronounce.
Well, tell us about Global We. How did that come about? What's the purpose and how that originate?
Well, I think it was in November, the beginning of November, and I was in Scotland, I was sitting around a cafe rather, with Gordon and a few other individuals, beautiful people, and we just decided, let's do it, and it's doing really, really well. I want to get it on the ground, and make people, like little pockets of activity going here and there, because the internet's all good, but you have to work one-on-one with people, and Gordon is a great leader. He's a great leader, and he makes space for other leaders, and so I wrote a song called "The Global We," and then we're going from there. So I write music almost every day.
Do you really?
And lately only instrumentals, because I only have this computer. So, and I have GarageBand and Logic, and that's all I have.
Right.
So, but that's another one of my massive dreams, is to get in a recording studio with super duper producers. I could do it in 2 weeks, write an album. I already have 2 albums that were out when I was 20 and 22, and I got a factor grant to do the second one. But I wasn't ready at that time. I really wasn't. So now I've got a lot more gusto and a lot more kind of drive, and I'm ready to do anything that's just, kick-ass and, beep.
No, that works.
Kick-ass
That
and-
works. We won't beep that out.
No, ass is not a bad word. Anything that's positive causes, a response, not a reaction, but a response. And, all artists are like this. We want to move people. I don't care if people love or hate, as long as they're moved one way,
Speaking of,
Love?
you made me think of something about, for the folks out there who are viewing this live, you're able to see Kat on the live version, but because of the technology at Ustream, the Kat's actually in a picture-in-picture that we've enlarged, and on the archive version, it's my mug you're going to see. You're not going to see that pretty face there. So, just in case if you're watching this after the fact, that's what's going on. Normally, you'll have to come and tune in to our shows on a live basis to actually see the guest.
I'm coming back. Are you kidding me?
Yes, you are, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I am.
Absolutely.
Aquarian to Aquarian, we're futurists. We're very old-fashioned, but we're futurists.
Well, you know what,
At the same time.
I believe that we're futurists who have whose time has come, Kat. We're here in the moment. I've spent an awful lot of my life ahead of myself and ahead of times, and
Yes.
but I think that's all starting to come to fruition. I don't know how, if for your life, but my life, if you've been to the horse races, you ever go to horse races?
Maybe when I was little.
Well,
I do love horses, but no, I don't remember really.
Well, when horses race, there's a couple of different kind of horses. You got the horse that'll come out of the gate and just charges and runs, and it'll burn out and not be able to finish. And then you got the other one who charges and takes the race all the way to the end.
Right.
And that's called a front runner. Then there's the horse that comes out of the gate last, kind of paces itself and stays there, and just barely crosses the finish line at the end of the race, and they're called a closer. And so, as I think, I spent my life in that kind of a mode. So, I think my time has come. I think your time has come. I think the Aquarian age is starting to really blossom,
Definitely.
I don't know, the people that I talk with, and I'm sure the same is for you, is they just have this feeling that something is here and happening, and not just
and the more we connect one-on-one, we see it. We see it with our heart,
I think of back in the 60s and 70s. If you were into metaphysics or into what you're talking, matter of fact, the whole idea of meditation in the 60s until the Beatles, nobody knew what meditation was. It was music that brought the meditation to the Western world.
That's beautiful.
Via the Maharishi Mahat Yoga, and so, and you being the musician that you are and the singer that you are. By the way, I've listened to I think everything you have up on YouTube, and you're great.
Thank you.
You're great.
Thank you. I would like a band, but again, it's just timing, and I would like to get in the studio, and I don't know. Record companies need again kick-ass, motivated human being to instill a positive message in the world. There's enough Britney Spears. I mean, hail Britney, she's cool, whatever. But I'm not 16 or even 23, so or even 30. But there needs to be a dynamic woman who can kick some ass and show that that I belong to the CNIB in Canada, the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, and you can see that in my groups on Facebook, as well as NOAA, which is the American Foundation for Albinism. But I want to be a champion for the blind. Because when I lose this is why I am like a racehorse right now. I'm trying to do as much as I can, because when I have those blackouts, which come more regularly these days, they do scare me, and I just kind of meditate or sleep them off.
Well, they're
But there is real
pretty
fear there.
pretty frightening things. I understand why you might be fearful.
Yeah,
I-
yeah, it's scary because a lot of people don't want to know, and because it's like looking at a car crash. You just kind of look, and then you don't want to look. What's happening with her? Is she okay? And I don't mention them very much, but I guess I am mentioning now. But that yeah, there's a lot to be done before.
Well, one of your gifts that at least from this vantage point that I see is that it's so easy to fall into self-pity and
Yeah.
self-loathing and just totally destroy any possibility you have of really contributing something not only to the world but to your own life. And somehow or other, like you've been able to at least work past that. And I don't think any of us are immune to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no other option. It's either
Well,
make people laugh and happy, and make myself laugh and happy, or else cry in the corner. And I'm not going to cry in the corner. I can't, I can't do that. So, not to say I haven't thought about it, or cried in the shower, or this and that, but I'm not going to check into some place where I can just go blind and there you go, that's it. I'm going to fight till the end.
what was the name of the fellow who played Superman? Was that Steve Reeves? No.
Oh, Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeves, I mean, yeah, what a powerful guy he was, and I see you
Such
as
a
a very,
superhero.
very well. You're a superhero too, Kat, and and I know for sure that like when everything got quiet at night at 3 a.m, for as strong and as powerful as Christopher Reeve was, he had to have gone through some real horror in the middle of all that. But somehow or other, he summoned up, all the power that it takes to be an inspiration. And I think that's a gift that you have, is that same kind of power. At least
I
from
hope
what
so.
I've been able
It's
to
a
see.
soft power for me. It's a soft power, and I mean, I've been PRing myself for a very long time now, and because I think there's still kind of a stigma around
Albinism.
yeah, and against people that are vision impaired but don't look vision impaired, right? So of course there's going to be. I've been hiding it all my life, until the blackouts came. I mean, I can't blame anybody but myself. But I mean, for example, nobody could tell until you look really close into my eyes, or I tell you,
Right.
or if you see me walking with a cane, which is very few. I'm embarrassed to do it because I want to make it through. I want to do it by myself. But I would really, I would love somebody in PR to kind of just shake me up and just throw me into these, different mediums so that I could really be that superhero. Because I can't be a superhero on my own. I can't do it on my own, all on my own. Sometimes I get so tired from, writing music and trying to do this and life coaching. Well, it's not really life coaching because it's just giving love. And
Right.
but I get so tired that I feel like I wish there was somebody to,
Share that
I
burden.
like to
Huh?
say, but, take care of me.
Hey,
So,
George. Kat,
and that's not
we've
going to
got,
be my parents. They've taken care of me long enough.
hey, Kat, we've got a
So-
couple of people, actually 3 of them, that have asked if you could read a small excerpt from your book.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A Fire Dreamer, Sunshine, and somebody Spiritualized have all asked for that in the last couple of
Okay.
minutes.
I think we have a special paragraph planned, don't we, there, Kat?
Well, I could read all night. Hold on. This is the first one.
Take
and
your
it's just
take your
about-
time with it.
It's called All Love and the Tiniest Drop. So excuse me if I read terribly, but I have to read so close. All love in the tiniest drop. You whom has given so much love to one drop in the ocean, is that not the ocean? Then if you love the ocean, the collective, this means everything, everyone. What do you do with that? Will you ever be loved for being that tiny drop? Do you want to be loved for being that tiny drop? Or do you want to be loved for being the whole of what makes us equal? Don't fight being that single tiny drop, for if you do, you will never realize that you are the ocean. In that single tiny drop, that tear, that molecule, that ocean. So that's one.
Wow, that's a beautiful passage. And you know what? I think that's such a huge problem for most of us. We tend to see ourselves as too small.
Yeah. Well, we're small and we're nothing and we're big. So,
Yes.
That's
Yes.
all I know.
Becoming right-sized in our own viewpoints really important to being able to expand into everything we have. How about another pair? How about another? You have?
Oh, can I read one about my parents?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So, what's your mom and
Fine.
dad's name?
My mom's name is Suzanne, and my dad's name is Robert.
Robert and Suzanne. I'm sure you're out there listening, and
They are.
you produced a wonderful gal here.
I sent them their books yesterday,
Oh,
and,
cool.
and they bought 3, which was really kind before the webpage went down. And I said I gave one to my dad, and I wrote him a little thing. I wrote one to my mom, and wrote her a little thing, and the third one I wrote, "Thank you for making me." So, yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to find it. Sorry.
Take your time. We are not going anywhere.
You what?
We're not going anywhere.
Okay. Neither am I. Okay, all love and surrender, all love and bravery, all love in my father. Okay, I'll read all love in my father first.
Great.
Let me just switch gears. All love in my father, the brave, courageous angel, who does not know he is an angel yet. My father, the wild genius, who does not know how much he has moved me yet. He sat me in front of the opera, encouraged my mind to grow and seek my own answers through my writings. Dressed up as Santa many moons ago, he had me believe in believing in dreams. His charm, the magical twinkle in his eyes, led me to believe in the power of my intentions, and that every word that I wrote becomes the truth. I still see him as Zeus with a softer side, all commanding, all business, all world. But the first time I saw my father cry, sheer magic happened, because I saw that softer side, because I saw the angel that he now knows he is, that he now knows he is.
Wow.
Do you like it?
I love it. I was thinking about my daughter and thinking about how I would feel if I were hearing that, and tears started to well up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's a pretty genius man. I think I'm gonna go visit them next week.
Oh, cool. And they live
Yeah.
where?
They live in Ottawa, so it's about 4.5 hours on the bus.
Yeah, and Ottawa, is it mostly French up there as far as speaking?
Pretty much, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the parliament's there, and it's pretty much French. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure really. I mean, it's still a small town, but it's
Right.
I guess it's half and half. Can I just read one more?
Oh, yeah, please.
Please, if I read one about my dad, I must read about my mom. So, and then so be it.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want my mom to say, "You didn't read about me."
Absolutely.
Okay, last one for the night. All love in my mother. Hold on, let me just fix my computer here. All love in my mother. She found me in the clouds, plucked me gently, brought me to earth. Her gravity, her eyes. I will not cry.
Sure
Her
you will.
gravity, her eyes, her hands in the soil. Everything she touches grows into a wild peony, a brave rose. They burst with love. She gives me comfort and reminds me how beautiful I am on the inside every day.
Wow. I got a sneak peek into why Cat Forsley's Cat Forsley. You got a great start with parents like that, for you to feel that way about them, Cat. That's beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about your spiritual life. What did you have growing up? What were you taught there?
Hey, George, did we lose her?
I think we lost you.
I think we might have lost her right there. She might have.
I wonder
I
what
can try to
happened.
get her back.
Yeah, well,
Which time we got?
unfortunately, I don't think it'll work at this point. So, Kat, we've lost you, Kat. I don't know what happened, and by this time, great. I think what we're going to do at this point is, hey Tom, where can they go to see her book? What is there a website or just her Facebook page? Matter of fact, if you go to Facebook and you search on Cat Forsley, Forsley, you can you'll find Cat if you're not familiar with her, and I'm going to I'm going to drop the call here with Kat at this point, and we're going to we'll let Kat go for a while. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how the show played out there for people listening, but this lady touches my heart. And if you spend some time on the internet and you look at the Facebook stuff, I mean, you can't help but be inspired. And I believe that, although Kat may not know just how much impact she's having, and oftentimes that's the case, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely.
We just don't know if we're, it's like we have so many things that we want to do. I know in my life I wanted to be able to be of more service than I've been able to be to this date. However, I've come to this understanding about service and about what my part might be. It's like I think that, we tend to come into life with this idea that we really need to do something grand, but the truth is, I think for me anyhow, that was much more ego than it was anything else. And when I say ego, I'm not talking about the self-esteem ego. I'm talking about false pride and ego. But the reality is that maybe we're here just to touch one other human being who will touch another human being who will then do something very, very large, which we just don't know. So, but it's been a great night. I've enjoyed having Kat, and I think what we're going to do is we got somebody next. Oh, okay. Next week we have Erica Borsman. As a matter of fact, you can see if you're watching from our website there, if you just scroll down a bit from where Kat was, you'll see that we got it. And I will be doing a video promo for these folks. They are doing some really wonderful stuff, and they have a great book out. I think you'll be totally impressed with them. And Kat, if you're still listening out there, we are definitely going to have you back, sweetheart. I've enjoyed tonight, and we are going to sign off at this point. But I'll tell you what, I have a suggestion. Between now and next week, accentuate the positive and be sure and have a fantastic week.